It is Championship Saturday this week for the ACU football team. Hello Wildcat fans, I'm Evan Nemec. Your number 15 ranked ACU Wildcats are on the road at number 12 Tarleton State with the United Athletic Conference Championship up for grabs. If the Wildcats win, they will be the UAC champions and earn an automatic spot into the FCS playoffs, two things that they have never done before. ACU is coming off a 35-34 win over Austin Peay last week. The Wildcats pulled off their biggest comeback in 10 years, going from down 13 at halftime to winning by 1. Maverick McIver hit Jed Castles for the game-winning 15-yard touchdown on 4th down and 9. And then the defense played with a lot more intensity, forcing 4 3-and-outs in the second half. That puts ACU at 7-3 overall, tying the record for most wins in a single season since ACU jumped up to Division I. A come-from-behind victory, but head coach Keith Patterson has said it multiple times this year, these are the kind of games that teams from years past had not won, and this year's team has.
It's a process to get to that point in your program. We've tried to establish a program since the day I've gotten here that when circumstances get difficult, I mean, you're on the road, it's raining, you're down, 2 scores, but we talked about it at halftime and we made adjustments, and at no point was there anybody negative, no bad body language, anything like that. In the course of that football game, our players have an expectation to win.
Let's get to the matchup between the Wildcats and the Texans. ACU is in first place in the UAC at 6-1, while Tarleton State is right behind them at 5-1 in the conference. This will be the last conference game for ACU. Next week's game at Stephen F. Austin is a non-conference game. For Tarleton State, they still have ACU on Saturday, and then next week they will host Central Arkansas. And in a game that should decide the conference champion, this is the kind of matchup you would expect, right? The number 1 offense in the conference, ACU, versus the number 1 defense in the conference, Tarleton State. We've seen all year what the Wildcats can do. Sam Hicks and Isaiah Johnson are both just outside the top 10 for most rushing yards in a single season in ACU history. Tarleton is giving up about 160 yards on the ground. They do better limiting opponents' quarterbacks, and they have the second best turnover margin in the country at plus 13. The Texans' defense has forced 24 takeaways this year. When ACU has won or tied the turnover battle, they are 5-0 this season. And when they have lost the turnover battle, ACU is just 2-3. Turnovers always a big key and a big emphasis, but it looks like this week will be even more so. We are expecting an exciting, a fun, competitive matchup on Saturday night, 6 o'clock kickoff in Stephenville for ACU versus Tarleton State, a top 15 matchup to decide the conference champion and the 40th meeting all-time between the Wildcats and the Texans. And we want to see as many ACU fans as possible there cheering on the Wildcats. You can find tickets at acusports.com. If you can't be there Saturday night, you can watch the game streaming on ESPN+, and Jim Reese and I will have the call on 106.3 The Raider. We'll see you Saturday night at the game.